Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have our top 3 most played games in September. Now, September was a slower month than normal. Only got 10 plays in that month of various games for a total of about 13 hours of play time. Not sure why September was so slow. I'm pretty sure I'm already ahead of that in October. But we'll see how that turns out at the beginning of next month. But yes, it was just one of those months, things kind of got in the way. But hopefully that is an anomaly and things are going to pick back up to the normal pace. Before we do get into the list, I want to mention our sponsor real quick, StonevalleyGames.com. This is a friendly, distant game store run by Eric and Wendy, a married couple. And Eric was in the military for about 25 years, a little bit more than that, actually. And during that time, he spent a lot of time gaming. So when he got out, he started up his own game store. They have a focus on solo gaming, but they are by far not the only thing they have there. They have the new hotness. They've got lots of old classics. They've got all kinds of stuff. Magic the Gathering's over there. Anything you need to scratch that tabletop itch, they probably have something for you. So go over to StonevalleyGames.com. They have a reward system or a loyalty system for return customers to reward return customers. So that's something to check out for sure. They also, if you are in the military and you're stationed overseas, if you have an AA, AE, or AP mailing address, they ship for free to any of those addresses. So be sure to check out StonevalleyGames.com and see what all they've got to offer you. All right, so now without anything else, let's get right into the list. And of course, we'll do this in 3 minutes starting now. Number 3 was Nemesis Lockdown with just 1 play. This was a solo play of it. This is one of my new favorite games. Nemesis Lockdown is fantastic. I have really enjoyed playing it. It plays really well solo. I think I've only played it once with multiple players. So definitely gonna have to try that out more, see how well that plays. But this is sort of Aliens, the game, really. You are on Mars. An alien infestation has begun. It's not like an invasion like aliens that have other ships and everything. These are more like the bugs from or the xenomorphs from Aliens, and they are going through the vents, and they are, you basically need to figure out how you're going to survive. And maybe you're going to blow up the base, maybe you're going to get in the escape pods, but you also have to worry about the corporation that runs this base on Mars, because they are not too happy with what's happening, and they may come in and clean house. And so there's a lot going on there. Number 2 is Streets. This is a fun game. Comes in a small little box about that big. And it's you're building out this sort of town right here, right on the table, and you flip over a tile, you see what kind of tiles. Could be one of 4 different types of tiles: residential, or like a parent tile, or a hipster tile, or a shopper tile, or an art tile, I believe is what it is. And you'll be putting it on the board, and each street, you try to mix and match what's there based off of how that particular tile scores. You're going to be attracting people to the street who then are going to score you additional points. And then when the street closes, like when you close it off and you start building other streets, those patrons they're going to try to go to other stores. And so you can start really building up crowds at different stores, which is really going to drive up the value of those locations. And number 1 was Medora, Unintentional Malum, Act 1 with 5 plays. We are working our way through this campaign. Actually going to play it again tonight. Very excited about that. Medora is a anime in board game form. Is what it really feels like. It's got this fantastic anime artwork. It's got a really in-depth story. I mean, the book is about 500 pages long, and maybe half of that is story. And so you really get a full, it feels like playing through a novel, through a fantasy novel. This is not your typical fantasy world. It has like a mixture of real world stuff and fantasy world, like real world modern day stuff with a fantasy world mixed in. It's pretty interesting how all that comes together. And the combat system is a lot of fun. Lots to consider, lots of symbols and extra powers, and the combat can, you can do an attack, and then depending on what happens there, the enemy can counterattack, and then what happens there can be a follow-up, and there's a lot going on there, a lot of fun. That's Medora. We hopefully, like I said, in October, I believe we're already ahead of where we were in September, or where we ended up at in September. So October, we should have a more extensive list for you, but I do appreciate you coming back, checking this out. We've got all kinds of stuff coming up. We've got a instructional video for Doomlings, or not instructional, we'll probably get a gameplay of Doomlings, because I did an instructional video for that back before the Kickstarter. Waste Nights is coming up. I'm working on Dungeon Universalis. That is a huge project, but I'm working on it. We will get that scripted. I've got part 1 scripted already for it, actually. And then we've got a number of Kickstarter videos coming up. So be sure to check all that out. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.